Hey guys, I'm back again with another speed build, and I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a speed build. I think the last speed build that I did, it was the apartment renovation in San Myshuno for my future Let's Play that I'm working on putting together. And I was looking at the date that I initially recorded the speed build, and I am just now uploading them in May, the end of May actually, and I actually did this build at the end of February, and not February, April. So it's literally been a month since I last finished a build to do a speed build, and I feel like a part of that maybe because I've been focusing on doing let's plays, but there's also I've realized a much deeper reason why I haven't been doing a whole bunch of builds. And I'm going to let you guys know that I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. And I did start this channel, yes, so people can play me, so people can watch me play Sims. And yes, I know for a majority of the people who find this channel, they come to be entertained. But like my intention with everything that I do, every single thing that I do is not to just entertain people, but I also hope that I leave people inspired enough to inspire themselves so that they can go about doing whatever they have their mind set on doing. And for me and my personal journey, it may seem like to others that, I just naturally do what I do, like whatever it may be. Like it might be my art, my writing, my tarot readings, playing let's plays on YouTube, whatever it may be. It may seem like I'm a natural at it, but people don't really get to see the work that went behind me being able to do so, because I am an introvert and I do suffer from social anxiety. So like I've had to overcome those things in order to do what I'm currently doing. It wasn't just like, oh, let me just throw myself on YouTube. Oh, let me just throw myself on the internet so I can be perceived by others. No, that was a challenge. It was a struggle, and it was not easy for me to just get up and do that. And I'm hoping that me sharing this part of my journey may help maybe whoever ends up watching this to go about doing something that they want to do, or put out something that they want to put out, whether it's making Sims YouTube channel or making a different YouTube channel or doing whatever it is that they want to do. And with me, with my builds, I realized that one reason, well, the main reason why I haven't really been working on a whole lot of builds and, putting them out there. Like I have recently been doing builds. Like I didn't just stop. It was just I didn't feel like I was making builds that were good enough to put on YouTube, because like if you look up Sims 4 builds on YouTube, it's like a whole bunch of different creators, and their builds are so imaginative and creative and so outside the box. And right now this is like a school. This is like, I don't know, something I see every day, and I just wanted to build it. But like I see people building like castles and IKEAs and McDonald's and stuff like that, and I have no idea how to do that. And like the builds that I've been doing, like with me playing personally, are just like basic houses, and I basically talked myself out of doing what I love doing, because I was basically comparing myself to other creators, and a lot of people don't want to admit that they get, psyched out of doing stuff that they love because of comparison, but it's a very real thing. And I'm ultra aware of myself, and so I know that, like, I'm super aware of my mind and where it's going, and I do have the ability to, okay, in my head, I realize that I'm comparing myself to someone, and I can catch that and I can stop myself. But it doesn't, like, I knew I was going to go off on a tangent, but I didn't realize how deep I was going to go off into a tangent. But, like, there's a difference between your mind and your subconscious. And it's like, once your mind gets into, like, something, it bleeds into your subconscious, and even though you can catch it with your mind, it's still there in your subconscious unless you actually like, you're basically fighting against that part of yourself that feels like it's instinct, it's primal, it's just natural. And so like you don't really know what's stopping you because it's so natural to you. And so you have to just push back against that in order to do what it is that you want to do. And I've realized, like, it's easy to, okay, just don't compare yourself. It's easy to say that, but putting it into action is more difficult than it is just saying that. And then another thing that people say is that, you know, you're not supposed to be in competition with anyone, which is very true. I'm very much so not in competition with anyone. And I also hate when people say that you're in competition with yourself. And I completely disagree with that statement, because what it does is create basically this feeling that you have to constantly push yourself into being a better person, instead of just recognizing who you are currently at the level that you are right now in the present moment, and being grateful for what you can do right now. Because when they say, oh, you're in a competition with yourself, then you're constantly trying to better yourself instead of showing yourself recognition right now in the present, which is what you should do. You should be grateful for whatever it is that you can do in this very moment, even if it's not a lot. Still, just do what you can do. And I've realized that by me focusing on what I can do in the present moment, well, sometimes I barely even notice it, but you do get better at what you currently can do. And it's a gradual process to what you learn to do, and you might not even notice the growth that you're making unless you're, you know, making YouTube videos like I am. And, you know, hopefully I will be able to see, whether it be a year or 2 years or 5 years down the line, that I do improve. And, you know, I just have to, you know, push back my fears and have these talks to myself, and telling myself that I am good enough to put my content out there, put my work out there for other people to perceive. And the fact that I do look up to other creators and builders and let's players and all that, the fact that I do look up to those people, it already shows that I have that within me, because I wouldn't be comparing myself to these people if there wasn't anything within myself to compare them to, if that makes sense. Like, I have it within myself, and that's why I compare myself to them, because it's already within me to not reach their level, but to be equal to them in my own way. And I'm hoping this makes sense. And I really need to make a new YouTube channel or something, because it was my birthday yesterday, and I don't know, something about my birthday yesterday, it has me inspired to just inspire other people more in a way that I've never thought I'd be able to, which is through speaking and making videos and putting my image out there. I've talked about this in a different Let's Play before, how um, doing this, like voiceovers and Let's Plays, is much more easier. Like, I've tried in the past to make a YouTube channel that was related to different topics, but it's so much harder when, like, you're the focus of the camera. And lately, like after my birthday, I just feel so inspired to just do it now. And I do feel like I'm becoming not a completely different person. I'm becoming more of myself, and I'm claiming more of my power that's been basically holed up within myself. It's been locked up somewhere, and I've been able to like bring it out into the open for people to perceive it. Um, but I think that's enough for it today. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about this build specifically, but I do hope that you guys was able to take something from this message. I feel like there's a reason why I had to put that type of message on this video, and I hope whoever sees this video, they take that message and they know it was for them, and you know, it was something that they really needed to hear, because it was something that I needed to know, and it was something that I felt like I had to get out and put it on this video specifically. Um, but yeah, I hope whoever you are, if you need to hear that message, I hope you you know, I hope it helped you and benefited you in the way that it needed to. But about this build specifically, this build is in Willow Creek. I'm not really sure what the specific location is. You can see it probably at the top. I can't really see it because um, the program that I'm using to record this voiceover, it just has like a little screen, and I'm not gonna say I'm blind, but I do wear glasses and I can not see that well, and it's kind of small for me. Um, but yeah, this is a school, and literally the inspiration I got for this build was it came from some custom content that I downloaded, and it was literally just a couple posters and the desks that you'll see that I put in the classrooms, and those few items of CC that I got inspired me to just create a whole school. And that happens a lot because some of the CC that's on the Sims resource is very, very creative, and it's like it'll be like an item for a restaurant or items for a bakery, and I'll just feel inspired to create a whole build based off of a couple pieces of custom content. And I personally like the way the school turned out. Like I've been having a little bit of a block lately with my community lot builds and my house builds, and so like this was like the last big build that I've done since I haven't recorded anything else. I have been doing builds like I said earlier, but I just haven't been recording them because I've just been building as I go with like the families that I play outside of YouTube. There are a couple things that I probably would have changed because I do have a mod in my game. It's the Kawaii Stacy Better Schools mod, and basically, like if you have that mod, you can have a school event, which is it'll send your Sims to school basically. And the first thing that I would have changed was this cafeteria thing, because with that I didn't know until I actually played with this lot that they will send a cafeteria worker, but I think she actually needs you know, like an actual kitchen. So I probably would have done that instead too. Oh, and another thing you might notice too with this, the way that I edit the video is that you don't see a lot of stuff, because I wanted to like reveal everything at the end. So like if it looks like I didn't do a room right now, I did do it. If it looks like I didn't finish decorating something, I did decorate it. It's just that I cut that bit out because I didn't want you guys to like see the entire process. And then like I just wanted to have like a huge reveal at the end. So if you want to see how like everything turned out, then yeah, you can like just click to the end. But if you want to see like the process of it, then you can stay and watch and listen to me talk. And I hope you didn't like skip my little rant because it was really important. And another thing that I did too is that you see the bathroom right there. I didn't leave the bathroom right there because I wanted to have a bigger kitchen, well not kitchen area, but like the cafeteria area. And so yeah, if you haven't like seen like my last let's I mean not my last let's plays, my last speed builds, my least favorite things I think in all builds that I do is the bathroom. Like I hate doing bathrooms, and I just hate doing bathrooms. And for this build it was like, where do I even put the bathroom, because it was like the last thing I was thinking of, but it was like also in the front because I will forget sometimes about the bathrooms completely, and then like I run out of space for them and I have no idea where to put them. But where it does end up, I feel like it makes a lot of sense for it to be there because, well, you'll see. But I like where it ended up, and yeah, it's only like one bathroom, and it had to be gender neutral um because I only had space for one bathroom. I could have included another bathroom, but like I said, I don't like doing bathrooms, so I only did one. And I don't know if that would be like something that would literally happen, like something that you would see in actual schools, like a public school is a gender neutral bathroom. Of course, it will probably be possible, but I feel like there will also be like, you know, some ethical issues, not really pertaining like sex, but like I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable with like my daughter or my son going in the bathroom using the same bathroom as other girls and boys, if that makes sense. Um, I know like at my high school, like some weird, crazy things happened, and I feel like that would be something that I would worry about. But that's in real life. This is The Sims, so I was like, it's all right to have a gender neutral bathroom, and I don't know, maybe they can like regulate it or something. Like maybe they have like a hall monitor or something, and they watch who goes in the bathroom, and then you have to wait till someone else comes out before you can go in. But yeah, it. I think it turned out right, all right. But in the first floor, we had the I think it's like what is it like the secretary office or like the office that you go into because like nowadays like you can't even really like go inside the school part unless it's like a school event or something. Like you have to like I don't know how if it's like that at every school, but like the schools around here you have to ring a doorbell basically, and the secretary she lets you in the school, but you can only go in the office because everything is locked by like a security key. So you have to like go into the office first before you can go into like the school part. And I think that's kind of like how I wanted it in this build too. Um just to have that kind of realism to it. But the first floor we have the office and we have the little cafeteria area, and I wanted to have like benches cuz like I remember personally being in in elementary school we had like little like almost like picnic tables. It was like a really long table and it had like little circle seats and it was kind of like a bench. And I remember having those in elementary school, but in high school we had like kind of like tables like the ones I put in. And this build in particularly, it's not a elementary school or a high school. It's a elementary slash high school. I didn't want to have a daycare in it because I feel like if I did make a daycare, I would just make a separate daycare for like the little toddlers if I do that in the future. Um, but I don't know if that's kind of like a weird thing or not because, again, like where I'm from, it's kind of like it's very rural community and we don't have a whole lot of students. And I know it would seem kind of weird to have um, the high schoolers and the elementary schoolers go together, but literally my like in my town we don't have a middle school anymore. It's literally just the elementary school and the high school, and we split it up. Like the middle school that we had, it was like super duper old. It was like literally like it was like literally like built during the 60s and stuff like that, and it didn't have hot water in the bathrooms, and it wasn't even like one building. It was like three separate buildings that we had to basically walk in between in order to get to our classes. And so like they decided instead of building a completely new middle school that they would just add on to the elementary school and the high school. And so they I think it's like 6th and 7th grade are now included in the elementary school, but they just have like a separate wing, and then the 8th graders they go to the high school. So we don't like I know this might sound confusing, but it makes sense in my town. I guess we don't have a middle school. We just have a high school and an elementary school, and we just split up the middle school between the elementary and the high school. And I think my favorite spot in this whole school is this area right here that I'm working on, which is this art area, because that was my favorite class. Like my whole high school experience. I only took art for 2 years, and before that I was basically self-taught everything. And I personally wish I had took art for longer, just because I feel like for me personally what I'm lacking in my art skills is like the technique or the like the discipline, I guess you would call it. um I wish I had took art a little longer. um but yeah, that's pretty much my favorite part of this whole build is that little, it's just a little corner. I was just able to squeeze it in. um but I don't know, it works. And I guess it kind of shows how like I guess in like modern society how art really isn't seen as important. Like it's not important enough to have like a huge classroom on its own. Like when I went to school, like I tried to get in art in middle school, and it was literally in like this little, it wasn't even a part of the main buildings. It was like in a little hut thing. I don't know what you would call it. It was like a little shelter thing they built outside, and then in like high school, it was literally like just a small classroom. So it was really hard for a whole lot of people to take art because we only had like a really small classroom and we only had one art teacher. And our art teacher, she had to split her time up in between, like she literally taught art for the middle school and high school. And so though these are just the issues of living in a small town. So I didn't have an issue with it, the art room just being pertained to that small little corner. And then in the second floor, I have two classrooms. I had it like the high school classroom and then like the elementary schoolers classroom. And then I have a lot of hallway, and I guess I could have like um built more classrooms in that hallway and made the hallway smaller, but I kind of wanted to have like a space where like the kids could like just, hang out and chill out if they wanted to. Um so I wanted to include that in the hallway. Originally, I wanted to have it like that middle part where the windows and stuff be have like some kind of corridor, I guess I'm saying that right, like around that part so like you could like walk around and see glass, but I don't know, it just didn't work out that way. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention is that this build is it's considered a library because we don't have schools in The Sims 4, even though if you go and download that Kawaii Stacy mod, I'll link it in the description where I got it from. I don't know if it's up to date or not. Um I don't really use it a whole lot in my personal gameplay. I just I really I rarely check my mod folder and make sure my mods are up to date with the game. Um, but I don't know. I think that's why I always have like error messages pop up. But like that mod and the few pieces of custom content that I downloaded off of the Sims resource was my main inspiration for this whole entire build. So if you want to download that mod, you can and play. Oh, wait, you can't play in this because I would have to upload this to the gallery, and I'm not very consistent with that. I keep saying I'm gonna upload something to the gallery, and then somehow I never end up doing that. But if I do end up downloading this to the gallery and you want to upload it to your game and download the mod, all of that will be in the description. But we will see on when I, what I do with it when I do with it. Um, but right now I'm working on the high schoolers classroom. Um, I don't know. I like the chairs in this room are the chairs that I was talking about that I found off the Sims resource, and you'll see the posters that I put up too. Those that like these couple of items are what inspired this whole build, and I feel like this is just like a general studies type of room, but it looks more so like a science room. I think like just the colors that I use and like the posters that I had, like I thought I had like posters for like different types of studies, but most of the posters were like science based. But it's not just specifically a science classroom. Um, it's like classroom for all studies. Like I don't know if you've noticed like on a lot of animes that like especially like when I was watching My Hero Academia, it's like they stay in the same classroom for like all of their classes, or like at least that's what we see on the show. I don't know, unless they're like going outside to do like their training and stuff. But other than that, they pretty much stay in the same classroom. So I feel like that's how it will also be for this build. And I don't know if like I don't know if this is just the way my brain works, or I know like other people do this too, but like in like with for like certain subjects you would associate that subject with a color, and I use the color green for the walls. And for me personally, green was a science color. Like I remember using science like green folders in notebooks specifically for science. And like for example, like math would have been red. I don't know if that's different for you guys, or like I know specifically for science it was always green, and on occasionally it would be purple. But let me know in the comments, like it was it different for you, like what color do you associate science with? Because for me it's green and sometimes purple, but like for math it was like always red or blue. um but like let me know in the comments like what do you associate the classroom colors to be? And I did want to I didn't, just because this is like the high schoolers, like when I did the elementary schoolers room, it's very colorful, very bright. It's very bright and it looks very fun. Like it's like somewhere you would want to be. And I didn't want to just make the high school room look dead. I hope it does look alive. And I remember from my experience, most of my science teachers were really fun and really cool and like quirky. Not all of them, but most of them were. They weren't I don't know, like super uptight like my English teachers was. I don't know if it's like a thing. I don't know if that's like a completely different thing or like if other people have experienced similar things, but like from my experience, most of my science teachers were like really cool and like quirky. But my favorite subject, by the way, no one's asked, but by the way, my favorite subject in high school was either art and history. In history, um, another thing I included that I think was really cool. Well, you'll see it in a minute, but I'm just gonna say what it was. My favorite thing upstairs. Well, my favorite thing downstairs was the art area. Upstairs, I made a room specifically. It looks like a band room right now, but like when we get there, I'm gonna explain what it really is. But for the elementary school room, what I initially wanted was I wanted to have it I didn't really plan on using these types of desks for the elementary school students. I wanted to find some kind of table or something that was like round because I specifically remember in elementary school for especially like in kindergarten and first grade we used to sit in groups in like a round table and like we was like the chairs would be super duper low to the ground and like the chairs that I use in the kids room or the elementary school room, these chairs kind of remind me of them. They're colorful but they're not like super low to the ground. Like I remember the chairs being in kindergarten and first grade, and I couldn't really find a match for the tables that what I had in my mind, like being super low to the ground. And I don't know, that was I don't know, it was like nostalgia almost. Like I loved that experience. Like that's like one of the first things I notice whenever I go to like a little kid's school is like how cute their little tables are and they're so low to the ground, and it's to help them make feel like they're not like little small human beings, and it makes them fit like it makes them feel like they fit there. Um but yeah, moving on. We're going to do this room next, and this is the room that I was talking about. And I did mess with the platforms a little bit. I'm still not super duper good at manipulating the platforms the way I want to. Like, I'm still trying to, figure out what I can do with those. But it does kind of look like a stage. And right now, I have like the random instruments and then the chair. So it does kind of look like a band room. But I feel like it's not specifically just a band room. The stage can be for whatever you want to. Like in my mind, like if you want to, if I do upload this to the gallery, like I know if I play with this lot and like with my gameplay, I would probably like go into build and buy mode and take away the instruments and like for example put like a podium or something. And this could be, even though it looks like a band room right now, I feel like this is just a room you could use for like club meetups. And that was like my intention for this room specifically, is just to have an area for um you know if you have like a club meeting or something like that, then this could be the room. And like that little platform area could be for whatever intention you have for the room. So like if you're in research and debate club or something like that, then you can put the podiums there. If you're in band club, then you can keep the instruments there. um I don't know, like any type of, it's just a space for creatives to meet and like contact each other. It could be like if you want to be an actor in the future, like you can, I think you can use the microphone, or I don't know what things you can use for the acting career, but I know you can use like the microphone to practice acting, or the mirror, or you can just come there with another sim and you can practice acting with them or act out a scene with them depending on what level your acting skill is on. And also outside of this hallway, I did something kind of, well, I think it was kind of cool because, to be completely honest, right now I work in retail. But there was a time before I got the job that I'm currently at. I used to work at Walmart, and I was working the base. I was basically a janitor, and I was doing that. So I was working two jobs, and I was completely miserable. Like I hated it. I hate. I hated the idea that I had to work two jobs, and I hated the idea that I was basically a janitor. And right now, I'm able to accept it, but I was so down. Like my whole mental space was so down during that time. Like I hated it. And what made it worse is that I ended up being put in my old high school, and it was like my whole mental, it was so messed up, like thinking this is where I came, like cuz I was an honor student. I was such a good student, and I have a whole blog post about this too, because it's like I was an honor student, and I had like I'm very very grateful for where I am now, and I'm grateful that I realized who I am and what I really want to do, and that I got out of the mindset that the only way you can be successful is to go to college, because that is completely untrue. It is completely untrue. It is false. You do not have to go to college to be successful and to live the life that you want to live. That is a lie. I could say other words, but I'm not going to, because I want my channel to, grow. I don't want to use those words yet, but use your imagination, like what words I want to use. But like that is complete, that's lies. You do not need college to be successful. But like to be an honor student and be a good student, and then to basically become basically a janitor in the school that you used to go to, it was so traumatizing and humiliating. But I understand the lesson of that, and um I got out of that, and I'm grateful for that experience now. But when I worked there, and I had never been in the newly remodeled area yet until like I became a janitor, and I saw that they had an area where like they had the lockers, but then they also had like these counters, and they had these counters right there too that you could like, I guess, sit there, and they had like projects and stuff. And my idea for that is like if you wanted to have like a study group, and I thought that fit because we have the room with you with all the like where you can have your group meetings and stuff like that, but then you also have a space for like if you want to meet up with your friends and have like a study group or a study session, or you want to work on a project together, then you have that area as well. And I thought that was so cool, like cuz now, like the high school I remember going to, it was just one hallway, and then you had, because it was a small school, so we literally had one hallway. Like our school got a whole bunch of jokes thrown at us because we were known as like the high school with just one hallway, because it was so small, and it was just literally like classrooms on either side of the hallway, and it was like literally walking through, like, I don't know how to describe it, but we were packed in that one hallway, and like like if someone messed up the direction of the traffic, it would just throw everyone off, and everyone would be late, and everyone would be mad. But I think this is the end. I think this is the end. Okay, so this is me just showing you guys what I did. Like I said earlier, I cut a lot of it out because one, I wanted to save time, and two, because I wanted to have it be like a big reveal. And I'm still working on how to basically, direct the camera and make it so it glides through smoothly. So it might not look that graceful right now, but I am getting used to it. But look at the art room. Like I really love this little section, and like I love the little sink in the corner, because you have to have that sink in like the broom and stuff, because in my art class we made a lot of messes, and we basically had to clean up our own stuff as well. That little wet sign thing is a piece of custom content. I love these like small little detail pieces like that. Like the only thing that I wish I had put in here was maybe like a janitor closet, and then again, like I said, I probably would have changed that little cafeteria station too into like an actual functional kitchen. Um Only because if you send your sim here, you will actually have to hire someone. Like you would have to pay 100 simoleons to hire a cafeteria worker. But like if you have a kitchen, you could basically cook for yourself if you like send an adult sim here or a teen sim here, or if you have the Kawaii Stacy mod, you can a cafeteria worker will actually come, and I don't know if she'll cook, but I assume that's what she's there for. Um, but I really like the way that kitchen turned out, and like again, like I probably would have put a microwave too because I have the vending machines there, and you can't really use them because there's no microwave to cook the meals. Then we have the office, and um, what you didn't see because I cut it out was me doing this little area, which is like the principal's office, and he has all his awards and all the school events on the bulletin board, and the little one little chair that the bad, not the really the bad student, but like any student can come. The principal, I feel like he's the type, he wants to have like a personal connection with all his students and try to encourage them to be successful and do whatever it is that they want to do with their life. Oh, and I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but this lot functions as a library, and even if you don't have the Kawaii Stacy mod, you can still come here and it'll function as a library. It has like bookcases and the computers and stuff like that. You can basically do whatever you want to do. And right here, I did forget to paint the walls. I did that after I stopped recording. It was just a small mistake, so I'm not really worried about it. But I did fix it. And again, this is like the little study hall. Not really study hall, but like if you want to have like a study group and stuff like that, then that's where you go. And then we have a whole bunch of lockers in this little space. I have also included the like little Boy Scouts poster thing too. Because if you don't want to have like a school event, you can like come here and like have like a little Boy Scout meeting type of thing too. And this little that thing, that was also a mistake. It was not supposed to be there, so I quickly deleted it. um I like how this room turned out too, and we had like little science activities. I wished that EA or whoever is in charge would like put out more activities for the children, because I felt kind of limited to like just the regular crafting table and the science table, and that's basically it. And then we have the high school room. I really like these little bin things underneath the table. Again, like little small pieces of custom content like that. It really influences the room. In both the elementary and the high school room, they have like the big chalkboard and also the big TV, because I remember like walking into a classroom and they had the TV rolled out, and that was like a sign that it was gonna be a good day, because yeah, because I wouldn't have to listen to the teacher's lecture. We could just watch a movie, and yeah. And then we have I guess you would call it like the school club people thing. But anyway, that is the whole build, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you liked and didn't like about this build in the comments. Please feel free to subscribe and share this video. And until next time, I will see you guys next time. Bye.